Somewhere high in the mountains of the Tibetan Plateau, at an altitude of roughly 3,600 meters, lies a quiet stone village. This is Hiban. From above, the village looks like a quiet patch of life tucked into the valley. Houses spread across the flat ground between the mountains, with a river running through the middle. But this is not a place built for tourists. It's a living village where people still live, work, pray, and pass down their culture from one generation to the next. But to really understand this place, you have to walk into it. We arrived at around 8 in the evening. The road led us through the village, past a guest house with a big sign, and a few yaks walking calmly across the road, as if they owned the place. The next morning, we stepped out and started walking uphill. One of my friends carried a bucket. He was hoping to pick mushrooms, his favorite thing to do here. The rest of us just wanted to see the village up close. We followed the narrow road between the houses, just wide enough for one car. It was quiet, and the sun was about to rise. This is when the houses started to make sense. The lower part is built from stone and earth, solid, heavy, rooted in the ground. The upper part is made of wood, lighter, warmer, where people actually live. The stone keeps the house grounded, and the wood makes it feel alive. Besides many houses, there were stacks of firewood. They still cook with wood. Halfway up the hill, yaks were grazing quietly. From here, the whole village spread out below us. On the way down, we looked at the houses again, this time more slowly. That's when I noticed something on the firewood stacks, yak dung, spread out to dry in the sun. At first, it looks strange, but here winters are long and cold, and keeping the fire going takes a lot of fuel. Dried yak dung burns slowly and lasts through the night, and since yaks only eat grass, it doesn't smell at all. Some houses even had it pressed onto the walls, drying there, ready to be used. Then smoke began to rise from the chimneys. The village was waking up. As the sun rose, the village lit up. Blue sky, white clouds, green mountains. Everything looked so clear and beautiful in the morning light. It felt like a place where life moves at its own pace. But what does it feel like to live inside one of these houses? We headed back to the guest house to find out. Soon, we were back in front of our guest house. From the outside, it looks like one of the bigger houses here, stretched out to fit more guests. We walked from one end to the other. At the entrance, there were traditional Tibetan carvings, small details that already make the place feel different. Inside, it's fully made of timber. The wood gives the whole place a warm, cozy feeling. The guest house has 3 floors. From the window on the 3rd floor, you can see the old village across the valley. What does it look like inside? Like the wooden structure, it made the whole place feel warm and alive. The bathroom though was fully tiled, just like any modern hotel. Our room faced the river, and the view was beautiful. We sat by the window for a while, just resting and feeling the village wake up. The altitude here is over 3,600 meters, so even a short walk leaves you a little breathless. But living here with the river flowing beside and nature all around, it is more than comfortable. Our twin room was 170 RMB. My friend's double room was 160 RMB, simple and fair. The lady at the front desk was a local. She spoke some Mandarin, not a lot, but enough to get by. Young people here are more likely to speak Mandarin. The older generation, not so much. The shopkeeper at the small restaurant told us that it's a bit like asking whether people in China speak English. It depends on who you are talking to. Later, we went to look at the houses across from the guest house. It was a courtyard, surrounded by a wall, with the gate open. The path was made of stone slabs. Here you can see the house style more clearly. Traditionally, the ground floor was for livestock. These days, many families have moved their animals to separate pens outside, and this space is used for storage instead. In other parts of Tibet, you'll find all kinds of building materials: earth, wood, mud bricks, or a mix of everything. But here, stone is what defines the village. The reason is simple. The local soil wasn't suitable for making tiles, and other building materials were scarce, so the village turned to the mountain itself, quarrying stone slabs for walls, roofs, and paths. A choice born out of necessity became the village's identity. There is another layer to this village, one you can't see from the outside. At the center of the village, there was a prayer ground. Rows of prayer wheels stood in the sunlight. On one of them, small birds were hanging. Someone had placed them there. I was told that Tibetans sometimes place the bodies of small animals on the prayer wheels, so that every time someone turns the wheel, a prayer is said for them. It's a small act of compassion, a way of including even the smallest lives in the cycle of prayer. Not far from there, we came across a few mani piles, stacks of stone slabs, each one carved with a Tibetan script. Here, stone is not just for building houses, it carries prayers too. We saw colorful stone slabs being carved by hand, the same stone that built these walls, now shaped into something sacred. There were small temples nearby, where sacred texts written in clay were carefully preserved. The doors opened only on special occasions. At another prayer ground, locals were walking in circles, turning the wheels one by one. We joined them, walking in a circle, turning the wheels as they did. This design was set up for the village. Right now, commercial development here is still at a very early stage, and I'm glad I came at this moment. On one hand, tourism can bring more income to the villagers, but at the same time, I hope it stays within reasonable limits, without changing the local ecology or the culture that has been preserved here for generations. On our way out of the village, we heard there was a gathering. Many locals had come together. We pulled over and went to take a look. Two men were carving stone slabs. Later, we learned that someone had passed away. We didn't stay long, just enough to feel the weight of it. This village gave us a glimpse into Tibetan life, and it left a deep impression on us. The landscape ahead seemed to call us forward, as if life always has more surprises waiting. Thank you for coming along with us. See you next time.